Hi viewers, good to see you once again. This is going to be the continuation of the previous video with regard to the conditionals. Yes, hope you are all doing fine by the grace of God. Wishing you well from here, Louis Das from English EC Louis channel. And in my previous video, I was just trying to guide you to understand the first type in conditional. So I'm just going to continue with the second type, maybe if time permits with the third type, or in the next video we will talk about the third type. And today, so let us straight away go into the video today. And yesterday in my previous video, what we did was that the first type of conditional clause, and I gave you an example. Let me write the title once again, conditionals. Okay, conditionals. There I was trying to help you to understand the three types in which I made it easy for you to understand the first type. So there I wrote a proverb. You remember the proverb? Hear much, speak little. Okay. So this is the proverb. So with this only I was trying to help you. So what was the first type? Remember I wrote a sentence. What did we write yesterday? The first type we call it. Okay, first type. If we hear much, we will speak little. Okay? If we hear much, we will speak little. And in this one, I was trying to tell you the verb is in simple present tense, and here the verb is in simple future tense. And what did we say yesterday? This is what is known as if clause, or subordinate clause, or dependent clause. And this one, of course, it's a main clause or independent clause. Remember, both of them are clauses only. The meaning will be complete only when they are written together. That you must be extremely aware and be attentive to understand the concept properly. Okay, right now, so this is the first type, and I told you this is what is known as the probable condition. Okay, just try to have the name, probable condition, or we call it possible condition. Possible condition. Okay, now I'm just going to write the second type for the same sentence here. See now, this is the second type. Second type, if we heard much, we would speak little. Okay, just minutely or attentively read the sentence. If we heard much, we would speak little. If we heard much, we would speak little. And what is this clause here? This is known as the if clause or subordinate clause or dependent clause. And this is your main clause or independent clause. Of course, you have the starting word if here, you have the subject. Look at the verb. Look at the verb here, heard. And look at the verb here, would speak. Okay, would speak. The heard is actually the past tense of the verb here. Heard is actually the past tense of the verb here. And of course here it goes would speak, will has become would, and speak has become, of course you cannot write past tense out writing could or would or should like that. So what has happened here? The past tense of will has become would and speak remains as it is. And we call that, see, past tense, and then this is also past tense and this is also past tense. So therefore in the second type, in both the classes the tenses will be past. See, only change that we have made is will is written as would, because would is the past tense of will here, that you must remember. But remember both of them are past tense, in past tense. And this is what is known as the second type, and you may call this as, here we call that as probable or possible. In this type is known as the improbable. Okay, improbable or hypothetical condition. See, hypothetical condition. Improbable condition or hypothetical condition. Okay, hypothetical condition. What does it mean, hypothetical or improbable? Hypothetical means unsure. Very, what we call it, very dim, or that cannot be seen properly, or that cannot be imagined properly. It's not clear. That's the understanding behind. Hypothetical means you are not very sure before you are going to decide something, or you decide on something about or on the issue that had been already exercised or activated or done by you. So you are not sure whether you did that particular incident or the particular work properly or not. You are not very sure. You are in a hypothetical dilemma. Dilemma, in other words, we call it. That's why we call this as hypothetical condition. Hypothetical condition. There are so many examples we can give. For example, let me write, if I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. See, if I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. Where is your verb here? Past tense, would fly everywhere. That is, what does it mean by hypothetical? So in other words, hypothetical is nothing but imagination of something that cannot be attained by the speaker. Alright, that simple is that. Look at the example here. If I were a bird, I would fly everywhere. See? So like that, you are imagining situations that cannot be attained. Same thing you can say, if I were a spider, I would go and fly everywhere and build my web everywhere. So many examples we can give. Alright? So that is the second type. So first type is known as probable condition. The second type is known as improbable or hypothetical condition. Second type. Alright? Now, let me write the third condition. So we will complete it today. Third condition. Third type. See, now I am going to write the same sentence in third type. if we had heard much, we would have spoken. We would have spoken little. Alright? Watch carefully. If we had heard much, we would have spoken little. What is your verb here? Had heard. Past perfect tense. Alright? Past perfect tense. And here it is your verb would have spoken. Would have spoken. Have spoken is actually perfect. Perfect. Would have spoken, this is suppose future, will has been turned into would, and the same would is written here, and along with that, have spoken is added here. So what does it mean? This is nothing but future perfect. Okay, future perfect, of course, would have spoken. Future perfect, we call it passive. That you must be very clear. Future perfect passive. Okay, would have, should have, could have. So all these will become as passive. So future perfect passive. So this is the third type, and this is what is known as the impossible condition. Okay, third type is known as the impossible condition. Impossible condition. And that's it. These are the three different types where you have the subordinate class, main class, or if class, or dependent class. This is independent class. So how many conditions are there? There are three conditions. First type is known as probable condition. Second type is known as improbable condition or hypothetical condition. And third type is known as impossible condition. Now you must have listened to me and just going on repeating the word condition, 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 right? Now, what is the condition that we have been talking about here? So in order to understand this concept in a little more broader kind of sense, try to understand the meaning of the sentence here. And you can imagine the situations like pictorial situations. You can bring into your mind. Pictorial situations. So what does it mean? If we hear much, actually all of us would like to hear. All of us would like to hear much and speak little. What happens now? When we start hearing much of the other people when they talk about, usually people, those who listen properly, attentively, they don't speak much. So they will listen to others and they will listen to what is being said and then respond it very, very shortly, in a very short manner. So all these understandings, see now, that is the first condition here. If we hear much, we will speak little. Well, that is the first type. Maybe if you want to think about the situations before you start activating or doing this work. What is Sir is telling and all that. Now look at this sentence. If we heard much, we would speak little. Now imagine the situations. I am just giving you situations in front of you. Maybe you want to hear the speech of maybe your own parents or your own teachers or your own officers, whomever you will like. So you make it a point before you start to listen that particular speech. And then you are going to ask your parents or teachers or elders mommy or daddy, whomever you may call it. If you are working in an office, you may want to have their opinion. So what would you think? You may ask, sir, what shall I do? Or miss or ma'am or ma, pa, what shall we do? And then they would advise you or they would tell you, see, remember, if you hear much, you will speak little. So what does it mean? So they are actually advising you to listen more than speaking. So few have the tendency to speak more than listening. And go to the second condition now. If we heard much, we would speak little. Okay, you have listened to the speech or something like that already spoken by somebody else. As I have told you, maybe your boss in an office or sir in your class or miss or ma'am in your classes. So wherever you are, you have listened and then some mischievous things or some irrelevant things may have happened. And then again you would go and ask from your elders, see, this is what happened, so what shall I do now? And they would advise you, what would they tell you? Don't worry, if we heard much, we would speak little. Maybe you may not have done this one. Okay? You may not have done this one. So there must have been something gone wrong or went wrong, and you will be worried in your mind. So you are in a confused state of mind. You are in a hypothetical situation. You are in a hypothetical mind. What is going to happen? I should have kept my mouth shut. I should have kept my mouth without saying unnecessary words or unnecessary confusions, unnecessary suggestions, whatever you may call it. So something happened, so you are in a confused state, so you had gone and verified or asked or advice from your elders. Now come to the third condition. If we had heard much, we would have spoken little. So if we usually, what happened now? So this is the situations where you feel a lot after the possible way of help or possible way of the possible conclusion had gone away from you. So you cannot do anymore. That's the situation had gone out of your hand. Now what does it mean? You are in a confused state of mind here, but then here it has become certain that you did not hear much and you have paid the consequences. That is the understanding. If you have listened properly, if you have heard properly, you would have spoken little. So maybe you would have spoken a lot there. That may not have been appreciated by the people with whom you are living. So therefore, this is the condition during which you are worrying about that has been completed, an action that had been completed already. Of course, you have all the time in the world, you can go and rectify again. But in order to understand the concept of the grammar properly, this is after the result. This is just immediately an action has been done. And this is before you are going to do an action. That is how you should take this into consideration. So, probable, improbable or hypothetical, impossible. Okay, so with this let me complete this video, but I will come back to the next video once again to give you more and more examples and try to get more clarity over these conditionals. We have only spoken about if only, and I told you there is one more conditional word called unless. So we will come back to that, to the next video. So for the time being, I'm just recalling whatever we have learned so far in terms of conditionals. So there are three types. First type is known as probable, where you have two clauses. If clause, your verb will be in simple present tense, and in your main clause, your verb will be simple future tense. And in your second condition, hypothetical or improbable condition, in your if clause or subordinate clause, the verb will be in past tense, and in your main clause, the verb will be in past tense again, simple past tense. Of course, will has become turned would, and then after writing could, would, and all that, you should write only the present tense verb there. Third condition, what is known as impossible. There you have in your if clause, you have past perfect tense, and in your main class or independent class, we have the future perfect passive as far as the verbs are concerned. So try to have this in mind for the time being. When we come back to the next video with more informations about conditionals, it's Luis Das signing off from this video. See you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. God bless you.